Hi everyone, this is Sumant from Decode Now. In this video, we'll be learning how to send mails using Spring Boot. So let's have a look at our to-do list. So first, we have to download the starter package with required dependencies in order to start with this sending mail feature. So let's go to browser and type in Spring Initializer. Go inside this start.spring.io. The project I would be selecting it as Maven, language is Java, Spring Boot version is 3.1.1, and the group name I'll change it to Decode Now, and the artifact name I'll change it to Mail Demo. Packaging would be jar, and the Java version for me is 20. On the right hand side, we can add dependencies. So here I'll be adding three dependencies. The first dependency is with respect to Spring Web. This helps us with handling all the HTTP requests and creating the servers and stuff. So we need this dependency for that. And the one more dependency is called Lombok. So this reduces the boilerplate code and makes our life easier. For that reason, we need this dependency. And last dependency is the mail dependency. So this is the Java mail sender dependency, which helps us in sending the mail. So we need to add this dependency. Let me click on generate. So the mail.demo is downloaded. Let me go to downloads, extract it. We go to desktop, decode now. I have created a folder called mail. I'll just extract it to there. So this is the starter package. I'll just open this in my IntelliJ. Mail demo application. Let me go to source, main, Java, and this is the mail demo application. So now let's take a look at our to-do list. Downloading the starter package is completed. So let me mark it as completed. And the next thing we have to do is add necessary configurations to connect to the mail server. So in our resources, we have a file called application.properties. Just go inside that, and here we have to add the configurations to connect to our mail server. So the first configuration is spring.mail. Let me just copy this spring.mail, spring.mail.host, which is equal to SMTP, that is Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. Dot. I'm using Gmail to send the mail, so for me it would be gmail.com. The next configuration would be spring.mail.port. Here we just mentioned the port number, which is 587. Next would be spring.mail.username. So username is nothing but the mail ID using which we want to send the mail. For me, it looks something like this. It's Balaji E. Iyer. This is just a dummy email ID at gmail.com. And next we have password. So how can we set this particular password? So for that, let's jump into our Google account and see how to create this password. Create a new tab. I'll add the link for my Google account. So this is my Google account, the mail ID which I mentioned there. And on the left hand side, we can see something called security. Go inside that. And if you scroll down, we can see this two-step verification. If this is not on for you, just turn this two-step verification on. Go inside that. We need a password for that. Let me just add my password. I'll be signed in. And at the bottom of this page, there is something called app passwords. Go inside that. And you can see here, this is the place where we can generate the app passwords. I'll just select the custom name. I'll name it as Spring Mail and click on generate. So this is our app password. It will only be available now. So just copy it and go to the application.properties and paste it in the fourth line where we have mentioned string.mail.password. So this is the username and this is the password. So our next configuration is spring.mail.properties.mail.smtp.auth. So this simple mail transfer protocol authorization should be set to true. And similarly, we have one more configuration that we want to set it as true, which is the start TLS. Start TLS should also be set to true. So these are all the configurations that is required for to connect to the mail server. So let's jump back to our to-do list and mark this as completed. And the third thing we want to do is define a model for our mail structure. So let me come back to the code and create a package called model. And inside this model package, I'll create a class called mail structure. So what this mail structure contains is, it just contains one string, which is, let's call it as subject for our mail, and the other field is, that is also a string, that would be our message. So these are the two fields present in our mail structure. I'll just add the @getter and @setter annotations. So these are the two annotations which are provided by the Lombok dependency which we added while downloading the starter project. So this is the mail structure model class. So let's mark this as completed. And the next thing we want to do is create a controller method to call the service class. So we need a controller package. So let me create a package called controller, and inside this controller package I'll create a new class called mail controller. So for this mail controller we have to add a annotation called @rest controller. So if you want to learn about these annotations and all the fundamental concepts of building a Spring Boot project, there's a separate lecture series on building a Spring Boot application to perform CRUD operations. Please check that out. We also need one more annotation called @request mapping, and inside that I'll give it as /mail. So now let's create a method to call the service class. So this particular method would be something like public, and it would return a string. It would say something like deleted successfully, sorry, the mail sent successfully or failed to send the mail, something like that. Just it returns a string, and I'll keep the name as send mail. It will accept two parameters. The first parameter is the mail ID to which we want to send the mail to. So that we will be sending it in the path variable, and it is of type string, and I'll just give the name as mail. And also we'll be accepting one more parameter, that is the request body. In the request body we'll be accepting in the request body a model of type mail structure. So it's mail structure, and I'll just give the name as mail structure itself. So this is our send email controller method. I'll add some annotations for this. We need, since this is a post method, we need something called post mapping, and inside I'll say send slash the path variable which is our mail. So this is our controller method, and the URL looks like this, and mail is our path variable, and in the request body they would have sent something like the subject and the message they want to send in the mail. So now from this controller method, I want to call the service method. So let me just come to our to-do list and mark this controller thing as completed. And the next thing we have to do is create a method in the service class. So before creating the service class, let me create a service package. So this is my service package. Under this service package, I'm going to create a class called mail service. And I'll mark this with the annotation service. And inside here, I'll create a method to send the mail. For that, I'll say something like public, and it returns nothing. It just sends the mail. So return type is void, and the name would be something like send mail. And it accepts two parameters. One is the mail, which is present in the path variable, and the next is of type mail structure, which we will be getting in the request body. So these are the two parameters that are accepted by our service method send mail. So in order to send this mail, we have to auto-wire something called Java mail sender. So let me use the annotation at auto-wire and say private Java mail sender and give it the name as mail sender. So this particular class helps us in sending the mail, and inside our method, I'll say something like simple mail message and give it the name simple mail message and say new. I'm creating just an object of simple mail message. I'll then add simple mail message dot set. We can add so many things here. We can set the BCC, CC, from, subject, text. So let me add from. So the from should be the mail ID from which we are sending the mail, which is present in our application.properties in the username. So this particular value which is present in the application properties, that can be taken into our service class by using at value annotation. I'll just say at value inside double quotes dollar bracket whatever is present in this application.properties, which is spring.mail.username. I'll just say spring.mail.username and close the brackets. And we can give a name here saying that it's a string. I'll just say mail, or I already have the mail, so I'll just say from mail. And similarly, we can get the password also, but password is not needed here. All the authentication stuff is taken care by this particular Java mail sender class. And here I'll just mention from mail. Similarly, we can set the other parts of our simple mail message. We can set the subject. So I'll set the subject to the subject which is present in the request body, which is present like mail structure dot get subject. And with respect to the body, I'll set the simple mail message dot set body or the set text, which is present in our mail structure dot get message. So now we have set the from address, the subject, and the text. So we need to add one more field, like to whom do we need to send this particular mail message to. Set to that would be present in our path variable, so that is mail. So now our simple mail message is created. Now we just have to send it. So that we can do by using this class, which is Java mail sender. I'll just say something like mail sender dot send, and the message is our simple mail message. So with this, it will automatically send the mail. So this will send the mail from our email address, which is present in the application.properties, get the subject from the request body and also the message from the request body, And to which email does it send to? It will send the mail to the mail ID which is present in our path variable. So this is the service method which we are using. Let me just go to controller class and call this particular method. For that, we need to auto wire our service class. Let me auto wire private. The name of our service class is mail service. I'll give the name as mail service itself. So now I'll call within the controller method mail service dot send mail, and it is expecting two parameters. One is the mail and then the other is the mail structure. So I'm sending both the things, and after that I'll just say return successfully send the mail. So this completes the controller method as well as the service method. Let's look at our to-do task. So creating a method in the service class is also completed. I'll mark it as completed. Now we just have to send the mail. For that, let me open Postman, or before that, let me just run this particular application. So now our application is running on port 8080. Let me go to Postman, create new. The type is post. URL would be localhost 8080 slash. URL looks something like this. It starts with mail and then send and the mail ID. Okay. So it starts with mail slash send slash. We need to which mail ID should we send the email to. Let's say connect with decode. So if you want to contact us, just send mails to this particular mail ID, which is connect with decode at gmail.com. It's expecting a request body which contains the subject and the message. Let me check the name again. It's subject and message. So subject would be something like testing, comma, message. This is a mail. So these are the two things required. And if I go to headers and change this content type to JSON, application slash JSON, and then hit send. So it is throwing a 500 internal server. Let's take a look at the logs. Okay, we have some exception here. This send failed exception. Must issue a start TLS command first. So in our application.properties, we have mentioned this start TLS to be true. Okay, it should be start TLS dot enable. So just add this dot enable in the sixth line of our of your application.properties and restart the application. Hope this should work. So it's up and running. Let me go to Postman and hit the endpoint again. Successfully sent the mail. So let's go to my Gmail and check whether I have received this particular mail. So as you can see here, I have received the mail. So we have received the mail, but here it says spring.mail.username. So at value annotation is not working properly. So let's go to the code and check that. If I come to my mail service, so this is the at value annotation which is present. So it's a syntax error. We'll have to mention it within flower brackets inside of the small brackets. Let me just rerun the application again. See, the application has started. Let me go to my Postman and hit this endpoint again. Successfully sent the mail. So let me come to my mail inbox, and there's one more mail. And here now, before we were getting spring.mail.username, after the syntax correction, I'm receiving as the as expected. So let's come to our to-do list, and sending the mail is also completed. So this was all for this video. If you have learned something new, please do subscribe to our channel and support us. If you have any questions, suggestions, or requests, please let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to like the video. See you in the next video.